Hello, everyone. So in this video, I wanted to do a demonstration of the programming language Railway. It is a reversible programming language, and it was not made by me, and it is on GitHub. So here's the Railway programming language. It's made by Jan Dean. Now, this programming language is a reversible imperative programming language. And so by reversible, it means that all of the operations essentially can be performed in reverse. By working with this language, eventually we could develop a model of computation that produces less heat. Just so we have something to focus on, let's go to ChatGPT and have it give a sample problem. Okay, so the idea is to implement a reversible swap function. Write a railway program that swaps the values of two variables, A and B. The program should be able to swap the values back and forth without losing information, demonstrating the reversible nature of the language. The program should take two inputs, A and B. It should output the swap values of A and B. The swapping process should be reversible, meaning you should be able to run the program again to get back the original values of A and B. So for example, you have A is 5, B is 10. Output after the first run should be A is 10, B is 5. Second run should be A is 5, B is 10. So let's open up here. So I've already downloaded Railway. You can actually download Railway using pip. In the Railway language, you have .rail files. So we can call this swap problem.rail. So we have this main function right over here. We can start by defining let A is equal to, let's say it equals 5. Let B is equal to 6. And then we can actually try to print the values. Let's do print ln A, print ln B. We can try to run this. So we can use the railway command, swap problem.rail. So we actually do get the printed values, 5 and 6. But we then get this error. We get this error of railway leaked information. You have to uninitialize variables. So there is this thing down here where there's two types of scopes. There's a global scope and a function scope. What we're doing with the let, this is function scope. It's limited to this main function. And variables actually may not go out of scope. So this leaked information error, that's what we got. And you see what you have to do is you have to say let x is equal to 6, x plus equal to 5, and then unlet x is equal to 11. So what we can do here is uninitialize these variables. Unlet a is equal to 5. Unlet b is equal to 6. And our thing is we have to know the value of the variable at the end of the execution. So I know that at this point, A is going to have the value 5 and B is going to have the value 6, which is why I can unlet A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 6. So there's this swap operation, swap, lookup, and they have some examples here. The swap operation swaps the data in the two specified locations directly, be they numbers or arrays. So swap X and Y. It's pretty simple. So here we can have our first print statements, and then we could have our swap A, B, and then we can print A and B again, and we should get the reverse. Instead of 5 and 6, and now we should get 5, 6, and then we should get 6, 5. So we get this 5, 6, 6, 5. We get this error here, runtime error of type railway value error. Variable A does not match right-hand side during uninitialization. So this value, notice that A now has the value 6 and B now has the value 5. So this is a case where we have to change our unlet to be 6, 5 because it's swapped. I think I didn't save it. There we go. So you have 5, 6, 6, 5. 5, 6, 6, 5. All right, so there we swapped the values, which is pretty nice. In Railway, in order to actually reverse something, you can use this function. You can create a function. So here's an example function. What we can do is we can actually make our own custom swap function that just does the swap, just uses this swap right over here. And then we can then uncall it to do the reverse. So what's the difference between, we have this set of arguments, this set of arguments, and this are outputs. First of all, what you need to know is variables are exclusively passed by reference in Railway. The first parameter list, it's those values that are passed to the function via borrowed reference. And the second list of variables whose references are stolen or consumed by the function. What this basically means is a borrowed reference is not removed from the calling scope. So whatever is calling this function, the variable will still be accessible there if that variable is placed here. But for a variable that's placed here, that variable will no longer be available in the calling function. We could place it here and make this empty. We can swap A and B. And then we can try to return A and B. So we can take this here and we can actually put that here and we can put custom swap. And we can put A and B here. What happens is A and B are passed into this call custom swap function, and the references are actually stolen. So A and B no longer become available in this main function. But what happens then is custom swap, it's going to swap the values and then it's going to return A and B. And what happens here is that the variables A and B are created again. They're redeclared right over here. And they're set to the output of this function. Then they're printed, and then we have to undeclare them. Railway swap problem. So we get 5, 6, 6, 5. We can actually do the uncall function. And what this does, if we do uncall, what it'll do is it's going to take A and B and reverse the process. Oh, if we can print text, that's pretty cool. So we can do print ln. And you can copy paste this. This is kind of case 2. And then this should be case 3. And actually, we get this error down here that A does not match the right-hand side. This is because, well, what happens is we've run the custom swap function in reverse. So we get 5, 6 again. So there we go. We got 5, 6, and then 6, 5, and then 5, 6. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this taught you a little bit about the reversible programming language Railway. I have some ideas that I may pursue in the future if I see interest for it. For example, a reverse debugger. That is one thing that you can do with Railway because it's a reversible language. Another idea I have is maybe to make some sort of leak code style platform. People can post problems, maybe they can use an AI to generate problems, and people can actually solve the problems as well. And this may potentially encourage more excitement in the field, which would result in computers that produce less heat, which would be better for the environment. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.